So we have to start by making sure we have the right colors picked out. I have some great greens here. I think the dark one will make a terrific dinosaur. Here's what I'm thinking. So that one is going to be the dinosaur's body. And then I will also need some red, some black, and what else? Gotta look it up. Looks like white. And then some cream for the card as well. So, some cream. Santa's contribution. Some little squeaks. And then this bright red that I think will make a good tongue. So I know that I said at first I was going to cut all of this on one sheet, but I realized that it would be easier to split it up into two pieces. So that's what I've decided to do. So first, I'm going to do the head and the body. Just going to line this up right on the edge on both sides. And this is already set up in the software, so all I need to do, check the blade settings. It's right. And the rollers are in the right place. They're wide enough to hold the whole mat. I'm just going to line it up with the blue line and press the load cut mat button. In it goes. And then I'm going to hit send to silhouette. And while that's cutting, I'm going to cut up the pieces for the other part. Uh-oh, that's not good. Looks like I'm going to need to cut that piece again. It got stuck in the roller. It doesn't happen very often. But since it has already finished cutting, and there might be a spot for it on that same cut, I'm going to see if I can get it to run through and cut that piece again. I'm not sure if it will fit. No, it doesn't look like it will. I'm going to try it anyway. It's worth a shot, right? So I moved it in the software, and now I hit send to silhouette without taking a piece out. And what that means is that it's going to try to cut it right on the same sheet of green paper that it has already cut the other piece out of. And if it doesn't work, I'll run another sheet of green through. Looks like I forgot to deselect some of those perforations, but in theory, it's cutting the exact same spots as before. So yeah, it looks like it actually worked out just fine. So I'm going to unload this, and I'm going to peel this off. Voila. Like the problem that I had the other day, didn't cut the part that's right up against the edge, right there, and I don't really know why, but I'm just going to fix that with my X-Acto knife later. And here is the body of the card. And that came out nicely. Ta-da! There it is. All right, so set that aside for now. Peel all the other little bits off, and maybe I'll figure out something fun to do with those. So I'm going to hold on to those for now. And because of that weirdness with the head, I didn't actually get around to cutting the other pieces. There's also the fact that the box that my phone/camera is sitting on is also the box that contains my scissors. So I'm going to pick up the camera for a second, get my scissors out, and then we will be back in business. Adjust that as best I can so you have a better view of what's going on, hopefully without the camera falling. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move some things around on my computer screen just to put the other pieces on the cutting mat. So this part, you won't be able to see what I'm doing, but it's already all organized where I need it. I just want to put it on the mat so that it will actually cut. And then I have to figure out exactly where I need to cut the pieces apart. So I need one piece of white, I think. One piece of white that is 5 by 8. So I'm just going to do this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I don't know why, but the edge of this ruler is not actually where the 1-inch mark starts. I've had this problem before, so since I know that, I'm going to line it up correctly. And snip that 8-inch mark right there. The nice thing about this step is that it's not really crucial that it be exactly accurate. All it really needs to be is close enough that the paper fits correctly on the mat for all of the pieces. And if it's off by a little bit in either direction, that's okay, because there's some leeway in the space that in how I've laid out the pieces on the mat. I think this will make more sense once you start to see it cutting. But if this really needed to be a straight line, I would be cutting it with the ruler on a flat surface with my X-Acto knife. Well, Samus has decided to join us. Hello, Samus. I don't know if you can see her, but she has taken up her customary spot. Samus! Hello! That's where she likes to sit when I'm at my desk, so she can see what's going on. All right, so I have my 5x8 sheet of white, and this piece I can save for later. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment, and I'm going to need a 3.5x8 piece of black. So here's the black. I'll do the same thing again. It's harder to see that because it's right on the black surface, but we'll make that work. Okay, and 3 inches wide. There we go. And again, these larger pieces that are remaining, I can save and run through the machine for a different project in the future. So I'll set those aside. Now I need red for the tongue. That is going to be 3.5 by 3, and I think I actually might have cut this piece too narrow. It's only 3 inches wide, and it needs to be 3.5. So I'm going to have to do that one again. Oops. But first, I'll go ahead and do this piece, which is 3.5 by 3. This is for the tongue. There it is. I'll set that aside. Bring back that piece of black, and it's a good thing I still have that larger piece, because that means that I can actually just fit these two pieces together, cut a new one that's a little wider, and everything will be fine. And if it's not, I still have one more extra piece. Let's take a look. Yep, I think this one's going to be just fine. And then finally, I need a piece that is 5 by 3. This is for the little inserted card. That's why I'm cutting it out of cream. And although I know I said earlier that the exact amount doesn't matter, when the piece fills most of the space, that 1/2 inch, like I had on the black, can make a big difference. So I've got to make sure that the piece is large enough that nothing's going to go off the edge. There's the cream when it's cutting. So I'm going to set everything else aside now and bring back cutting mat. And now I'm going to organize the pieces on the cutting mat just like they're organized on the screen. And I can show you that. Here's how they're organized on the screen. So this is going to be white, black, cream, and red. So there is the white piece. And we'll just fit that black piece right next to it. That's right, I never cut off that extra ½ inch. I was wondering why that piece was so much longer than the other one when they are the same size on the screen. But it was my mistake. And I need to do that because I'm putting other colors down below it. You can't see that now, I realize. But that will make more sense when you see it start going into the machine. And it's okay that these pieces aren't exactly touching right here because there's a little bit of space in between them on the layout. Hopefully that's enough. Somehow I managed to cut this piece a little too small, but fortunately I have a lot of leeway on that one. So I'm just going to line up the red. You can't see that either. There you go. Now you can see how those pieces are all going to fit together on there. Now I can run this whole mat through the machine in one pass and cut all 4 of those colored pieces. Because the machine doesn't care what color the piece is. It's just a knife. But now I want to make sure that everything is firmly attached to the mat because of what happened with the dinosaur head earlier. So there's also a tiny piece of dinosaur head still hanging out inside the machine. I'm just going to try to get that out of there real quick. Sorry to bother you, Samus. Okay, that's out of the way. All right, I'm going to press the load cut mat button. And then I'm going to send this to print. And see what happens. And so far, Samus is curious, but not otherwise bothered. That cut mat is going to stick out of the back of the machine as it gets further towards the cream and red pieces. Then it might bump into her a little bit, but it shouldn't interrupt the cutting. It might interrupt her. Yeah, there we go. What is it? That scary? Makes weird noises, huh? Hi. Say hi. Meow. No? Okay. There we go. While that's going on, I'm just checking out the other pieces. I just remembered that I'm going to need to cut this dinosaur head with the X-Acto knife, so I'm going to get ready to do that when it's done cutting. And I can do that on camera. All right. That looks great. It was maybe a little too close to the edge on the black. So we'll see what that looks like when I pull it off, but I might have to do the black one over again. All right. So then we just peel off all the extra. Oops. That was just the X-Acto knife rolling across the table. Made kind of a weird noise. So, you know, this actually kind of looks okay. It's just right there. There's a little bit of a flat edge where I misjudged how close it would be to the edge. But other than that, I think it's okay. So I'm going to set that piece aside. Give you a little bit of a better view. And there is the white dino head. The other piece of white. Oh no. All right, so I do need to recut the tongue. I just wasn't paying enough attention, I guess, and didn't look at exactly where that needed to be. And there's a little, see how this edge is flat right here? In the design, there's a little nib there that looks kind of cute, so I think I'd rather recut that just to capture that little bit. And then you couldn't see that, but here's the card. I'll peel that off, and then I just need to clean the rest of the little pieces off of the cutting mat to make room for that one last cut with the tongue. So normally I would be done with cutting at this point. Just get that cleaned up. And get my red back out. Cut another piece off of that. And this time, doesn't matter really how big the piece is because it just needs to be in the right spot on the mat. Doesn't even really need to be carefully aligned because I just need to make sure that in my design on the computer that this piece is in the right place. So I'm going to move everything off of the mat. Oops, sorry. And I'm going to take just the tongue and put it back in that spot where it belongs. And then I'm going to go back over here, put this back in the machine one more time. Let's try that again. So that's quick and easy because it's just a very simple cut. Now you can see instead of being a flat edge, we've got this little divot here that cut perfectly. All right, setting this piece aside as well. Set the mat aside for a moment. I'm going to use my impromptu piece of nail as a cutting board. I'm just going to slice this edge off. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I haven't figured out why my machine is doing this, and it's so inconsistent that I can't seem to prepare myself for it. So let's see if anybody online knows why it does that. But that's fixed. So now I have all of the pieces. I'll show you those. There is the main body of the card and the face. We've got the black background, the white face front piece, and the white bottom face piece, and the tongue, and the card. Okay, so now I need to put all of these pieces together. And normally I would do that on my desk, but because I did not prepare well and my instructions are on my computer screen, I am instead going to just move the camera carefully over here so that I can look at the computer screen and you can still see what I'm doing, hopefully. Let's see this. Stop eating my stuff. Thank you. Okay. Alright, so now on my computer, I'm done with this. I'm going to save it. So if I ever want to make it again, it's available. And in the meantime, here are the instructions. So I know what I need to do to put all the pieces together. So first it says cut the pieces, and I did that already. So then it says fold card along score lines. So here's a card, and this might actually work better. There we go. Now you can sort of see what I'm doing. Okay, so fold along score lines. So I'm just going to fold it, and fold, and prep those hugging arms. Oh, it's got to be ready to hug, right? And last part, oh wait, I did that one already. It was these edges that I haven't done. And it's so hard to put the camera in a place where you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so the next thing it says is apply glue along the bottom of the side tabs on the card base, which is going to be these pieces. Let me look at the picture. And then it says secure by folding upward towards the card base. I see. Yep, so that's what that's going to look like when it's all put together. So I've got my glue. It's a nice little tiny dispenser. Actually, this is the wrong one. This is my shiny glue. I don't need to use that for this. I'm going to use that glue, which I have somehow lost track of. Okay, well, I have a bigger one. Samus, did you take my glue? back my impromptu cutting board. Okay, so this goes a little bit of glue. Oops, that's dry. Comes right off. A little bit of glue, just like that. Always want to be careful not to overdo it. And I'm just going to spread it around a little so that it doesn't squeeze out after I put the pieces together. Okay. And voila. Okay, so that part is done. Though I did manage to get a little bit of glue on the outside, which is a bummer. But hopefully it will dry clear and you won't be able to see. Okay, so now it says glue the white teeth with the oval, which is this one, to the double dino head base, which is the black one. They're almost exactly the same, but I'm just going to do it like that anyway. Figure out how it lines up, and then a little bit of glue, not too much. You can still see what I'm doing, good. Spread it all the way around, even on the teeth. I'm going to make sure everything sticks down together. All right. Now we just line it up. And when everything is lined up the way I want it, then press it down. Or not. Sometimes lining this stuff up can be a little tricky. This is the fun part. Well, it's really all the fun part. There we go. Everything's lined up nicely now. Beautiful. Okay. Glue the single green dino head. That's the one we had some trouble with. To the coordinating white teeth dino head. Here it is. Okay, how do these pieces go together? Looks like that. It's so cute. I love it. I'm going to set that aside. Put some glue on this piece. Spread that all around. Trying to get it right up to the edges because that's where it's the most likely to come apart. I'm not squeezing anymore, I'm just using the tip of the glue bottle instead of my finger to spread it. That looks like a little more is coming out anyway, and I don't want that, so back to the old school spread the glue around with your fingers method. And the nice thing is that this glue washes right off with just a little bit of water. Off of my hands, that is. Probably would not be a good idea to try to wash the card in water. Okay. Got a little overflow there. All right, now clean it up. Put it together. You can still see. Okay. So we're just going to line it up by these nostrils. And then kind of slide it around a little bit until the eyes are lined up right. There we go. And press it all together once again. Hope that the glue will dry in a way that will not mark the outside, because this is why I'm not supposed to use my fingers, but I did anyway to wipe the glue. Okay, so that's all put together. So cute. Love it. Okay, next step, curve and glue the base of the tongue to the center of the oval inside the lower set of teeth. So here's the oval with the lower set of teeth. And it says to curve the tongue. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Oh, I see. Okay, so I went back and looked at a picture of the final product, and that showed me that it wants just a little bit of curve so that it kind of sticks up a little bit when you open it. I'm just gonna curve it a little, not too much. All right, I think that looks good. So then a little bit of glue. Try to make it so I don't have to wipe it with my fingers again. And on it goes. Trying to get up the right spot. Mostly centered. Slightly tricky. There we go. Now it doesn't really say whether I'm supposed to glue the curved tip down, so I'm going to wait on that and decide later. Like if the front piece should be glued down so that it just sticks up in the middle, or if it should be loose. Okay. Fold the double dino head at the center score lines. That seems easy enough. All right, there we go, folded. Use foam adhesive squares to attach the top back section of the combined dino head to the front of the card base. So that's going to be this bit. Oh, I missed something. Glue the combined dino head to the top of the double. This is the combined dino head. Glue the combined dino head to the top of the double dino head base. That's the piece that I missed. That makes sense. So this piece gets put together like that. I'll just put a little more glue on here. There we go. Got all over the place. I have a new idea. Spread the glue around a little bit better. Try to get it on those teeth. In between, right up to the edges. And then glue it down. Can't see the black against the black of my desk, so I brought over this piece to just give me some contrast, but there's glue all over it, so I don't want to set this down on top of it. Okay, and with that done, it looks like it still needs a little more glue inside right here. That should do the trick. And now the dino head is done. Ta-da! As you may have noticed, it's coming up in the front as well, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue right there too. I'm going to open it to make sure that I don't accidentally glue the two pieces together that are not supposed to be connected. And since these pieces are being a little uncooperative, I'm going to put them down on a flat surface and give it a nice hard press to try to make sure that everything is glued together where it should be and isn't peeling up. That's looking much better. Yay. Rawr. Okay, so now it's saying to use foam adhesive squares, which I am going to substitute with glue dots, to attach the top back section of the combined dino head to the front of the card base. And the glue dots are just going to give it a little bit of dimension. Alright, so here's the glue dots. They're on a liner, so you just press it down and then you peel it away. I'm going to do, I think, 3 pieces. 2 at the top, and either 1 or maybe 2 at the bottom. Or maybe what I'll do is 1 in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, give it a little stability with 1 in the middle. It's a little off center, but that's okay. And 1 at the bottom. This is probably overkill, but that's okay. That's what dinosaurs are all about, right? Okay, so now glue dots are applied. Line it all up and press it down. And then the dinosaur's arms, you just curve them a little bit. Get that out of the way. Curve a little bit. I'm going to kind of open these little slots. And just slide those little fingers in. Maybe even just 1. I don't know why, but this side is being more difficult. There we go. Okay, and then Samus, you gonna come check it out? You're gonna come investigate? It might need inspection. Where are you going? Come on, you wanna check it out? Okay, so last thing, here's the card. It's currently blank, but it will fit nicely right in here. Actually goes a little further down than it might need to, so you can, when you're done writing it, you can actually just put it in a little like that far, and there's a pretty good grip on it, so it probably won't slide around once you put it where you want it, and then you can just pull it out to write on it or read it, whichever, end of the bargain you're on. For shipping purposes, I'm going to pull these out and lay them flat. That'll just make it less likely that they get damaged. But that's how they're supposed to look. It's curved up like that. So here, I guess I should have left them in so that I can show you. Actually, it looks better with the card tucked down a little bit. So here's the final product. I gotta tilt the camera so you can see it a little better. There we go. And then open it up. Rawr, rawr, and then the card is right in there. And that's it. We're done. Go team. I hope you love it. Bye.